do this video a little differently. So I am talking about, ways that we don't spend as much money, we don't have as much waste because we eat, like my kids are low carb for the most part. Not every day, not perfect. They still eat some junk food. They're fine. But Dale and I don't eat junk food. We don't eat processed food anymore, like highly processed food that comes in a package, like chips and crackers and that kind of stuff. We don't eat junk food anymore. So I'm talking about different ways that we actually just naturally save money because we don't buy a bunch of different things anymore. Okay, so this is future me that's editing, and I wanted to segue into the bulk of the video and let you know that the very first way we save money on a carnivore diet is we do not eat fast food or go to restaurants hardly ever. Dale and I do that when we are traveling, and we will get, burger patties, or if it's a really busy day and we need something fast and, easy, we will get burger patties from, McDonald's or Wendy's. Those are really the only two places that we get fast food from. Restaurants very much anymore because, a lot of times they use seed oils, vegetable oil, and I cannot tolerate vegetable oil, seed oil at all. And also it's very expensive and it's never cooked the way we want. So every time we eat out, we're disappointed. We had chicken wings from B-Dubs I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and they were really expensive and they just weren't very good. So I turned into one of those people that, would just rather eat at home, buy my own food and eat at home. And I never thought I'd be that person. So now on to the rest of the video. We just don't buy as much food because what we're eating is just more filling and satisfying. We eat whole foods, eggs, bacon, sausage, that kind of thing. We're not spending money on processed foods or foods in packages. And we still buy a little bit of that kind of food, but it's drastically reduced in the last year. And it was a gradual, change and reduction. Can be a very extreme person and go through and just purge everything, but I didn't do that in the beginning of when I first started eating carnivore diet last year in January, because I had no idea that this would turn into my lifestyle. It was just a diet. I was just going to do it for a short period of time. And as I kept eating carnivore diet over and over and over, every day, we just stopped buying most of the junk food. So we don't, since we don't buy a lot of those types of foods anymore, we are saving money. We buy less variety of, we don't buy lots of spices and, sides and things to go with our meals. We don't have I don't make recipes or cook meals that take 12 different ingredients for seasoning and flavor, that kind of thing. So we have less we just have less that way, and that does save us money, and it allows us to spend more in our budget for maybe higher cost items like steak, ribeye. We don't eat ribeye all the time. We do vary some of our meats. I do not buy high-end grass-fed meat because I don't like the taste of it. So, unpopular opinion, I'm doing just fine. Local butcher who gets there, we get it there. It's just not grass-fed. And we prefer the taste of non-grass-fed, grain-finished, whatever. Go to Costco and budget, or buy in bulk, most of the things that we eat. My kids have transitioned, and they are low carb, just naturally. We still buy some, suboptimal foods, but my kids are metabolically healthy. They're young. They haven't had years of damage. They know what healthy food is. They know that they're not scared of eating fat. Animal-based fat is good for them. They know that protein is important. They know that they don't have to have processed food as part of their day-to-day diet. What they do with that information is out of my control, but they know the information. And fat does not make you fat. They know that now. They've seen that. They've experienced that for themselves. They know they shouldn't be afraid of red meat. They know that those are the healthy foods. That whole foods are what you should be eating. You should be looking at the back of your package for your ingredient list. And if it has 25 ingredients, that's not real food. That's not whole food. It's just like every person has their own choice, and you cannot force someone to do something. People have to learn by their own mistakes, but as long as they have the important information of, fat does not make you fat, fatty red meat is good for you, eggs are good for you. What they do with that information is theirs. My kids are older and we started this way of eating when they were teenagers. I think that's the best way to do it. Just don't buy as much variety of food. We don't buy lots of things out of the freezer section. We don't buy, pre-made meals in the freezer section. We don't buy lots of different foods to eat in a meal. We eat 2 or 3 things at the most. We spend more money on our meat, maybe, but we don't eat high-end meat every, steak every single meal. We budget in, we eat other things, and that gives us a little bit of a variety too. My kids do still want much more variety than I prefer, or even than my husband. So buy fruits and vegetables, because what I did almost every single time, I would buy a bag of salad, a salad kit, or I would buy, green peppers or whatever, and they would sit in the fridge for 2 weeks until I threw them away. We don't have much food waste. So when we do buy it, we do eat it. We're not buying quite as much, but we're eating it. So that's a win. We also don't have nearly as much waste, trash, because we're not buying a lot of packaged stuff. We don't buy alcohol or wine anymore because we don't drink anymore. And that was a natural thing. I'm not saying don't drink. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you the ways that we save. So instead of spending our money on alcohol, we spend it on water and coffee. We are not buying, pop, soda. We aren't buying, sports drinks or tea, we just don't buy so much variety of I need 4 different things to have on hand all the time for options. We have limited our options, and that really, all of us find freedom in that. That's one of the reasons I don't think I would have been a very successful trying to do keto. I don't think I would have been able to manage it to turn it into my lifestyle, because there are so many options. I need a few options so that I can focus on those, because I get so overwhelmed by, if I have 12 options, I'm going to be overwhelmed. It's the smorgasbord effect. There's so many things to choose from, and I can't have it all. It's just overwhelms me. That's why I do well a standard carnivore diet. So we don't buy as much. We don't have a lot of, packaged food. We don't buy a lot more variety. We don't have tons of variety, just because that's working for us. And we feel, freedom in that. And also, we are not buying nearly as much over-the-counter medicine or biohack. So we don't buy a ton of snacks. Basically, we don't snack anymore. And that is what I mean by junk food, that kind of thing. Also, if my kids ask me for something, I will usually buy it. They're not asking me to buy them vegetables, and nor are they asking me to buy fruit. We do keep some dairy on hand for, if they want a protein shake, they don't want that. Or if they want, cottage cheese, yogurt, those kinds of things are fine. They're whole foods. It's fine. But we snack so much less. I don't snack at all. Dale snacks a little bit, but it's usually like a meat stick, like chomps or that kind of thing. we don't buy tons and tons of products that are, carnivore products or whatever. We don't buy a lot of those. Those serve a purpose for us in travel days. We do really like Power Puck, carnivore crisps, and carnivore snacks, chomps, like I said, those kinds of things. And then with the over-the-counter medicine, that's less. And this is what happened to me about a year, 12 months before I started a carnivore diet. This is what happened. I started to develop like acid reflux at night, and where I'd wake up. It might have been sleep apnea, I don't know, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like I'd wake up and have to clear my throat. And I've never really had trouble with any kind of issues. The only time I had trouble with that, where I had actual heartburn, was when I was 9 months pregnant with my kids, So I had been just taking, 2 allergy pills, an acid reducer for months. And so I don't take any of that anymore. We spend much less on, the latest and greatest when it comes to supplements or, vitamins and that kind of thing, because we get that naturally from our food. So that's one way that we don't spend as much money. We don't buy as much junk food. We don't buy as much over-the-counter medicine. We don't buy as much variety. We don't spend our money that way, which allows us to buy, maybe more expensive cuts of meat for our steaks. But we also buy stuff on sale. All right, so I am getting ready to leave for work in 25 minutes. Here is what I'm having. 3 eggs, about 4 ounces of ground beef, and a piece of bacon, and 2 tablespoons of butter. We get the Kerrygold butter. We like it. We find it consistently. We like it the most. We try to get it on sale. Then later we're gonna have ribs. After work, I'm gonna make those. I found these ribs at Costco. This is beef chuck short ribs, boneless, $12.99 a pound. Yeah, we didn't really like the ribs. They were okay. We ate them all, so no food waste. But I don't know. It was the cooking method. But you win some, you lose some.